This video is all about the Detroit Lions must get a victory, a win over the Washington Commanders on Sunday, home at Ford Field. Now, this video may be a little controversial because a lot of people may agree, a lot of people may disagree. This is probably going to be a 50-50. So in the comment section, I want to hear your thoughts and opinions on this one in a big way. Explain your thoughts. This video is more of a conversational one than generally what I do. But before we get into today's video, if you think it's a fun idea to take a pen and jam it into your eye socket as hard as you can, go ahead and subscribe to my channel because we talk all things Detroit Lions news and rumors. And sometimes being a Lions fan, you can go blind. Also, take that like button with you and freaking jam that bad boy with the pen. Let's get into today's Lions must-win game.
It's LeGarrette Blount here, man, 3-time Super Bowl champion. I just want to give you a shout-out to the YouTube channel, MicroMike, man.
Hey, Eddie Murray, former Detroit Lion. Make sure you watch MicroMike on YouTube.
Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron. Big shout-out to MicroMike and YouTube channel, man.
Keep on talking everything Detroit Lions, and I just got to remind you, man, happy wife, happy life.
Folks, as expected, I thought the Lions would fall to the Philadelphia Eagles. I had a 32-38 Eagles win in that game, and it pretty much fell exactly what I thought it would be. Lions take a loss, but there's a lot of points scored. Why? Because I believe the Detroit Lions offense is pretty good, and I believe the Detroit Lions defense is not so good. But on Sunday, we're facing a team in the Washington Commanders. I fully expect the Detroit Lions to win this game. When I look at the roster, I feel the Lions are a little bit better, and it's at home against a team led by Carson Wentz, who, look, he's got some flashes to him, but he is majority of a pocket passer. Now, he can get out of the pocket, but he's not Jalen Hurts type of pocket passer, Lamar Jackson, guy that can just straight up burn you on every single play. The Lions defense is set up for more of this type of quarterback instead of the one we faced last week in week 1. Lions need to win this game or we're going to be 0-2. So let me know in the comment section right now, is this a must-win game for you? Why for yes and for no? It's going to be the pinned comment for this video. Curious to see what you think. Now, why do I see this is me to be a must-win? Well, of course, if you go 0-2, getting to the playoffs is pretty much non-existent. It's really difficult, and throughout history, you see that teams 0-2 do not make the postseason. Now, you get a team here and there, but is generally out of the question. Now, for me, it's not about the playoffs. I personally don't believe the Detroit Lions are going to make the playoffs. I have them 7-8 wins, missing the postseason. But I had this on the schedule as a win for the Detroit Lions. The Lions got to start winning football games for everything that Dan Campbell has been preaching for this team. It's about wins. You can have all the stats in the world. You can get close in games, but at the end of the day, you got to win games. Majority of games in the NFL are close. Generally one score. Within 7 points, teams win or teams lose. At some point, Detroit's got to be on the winning side. And if the Lions were to lose on Sunday, 0-2, they have to go to Minnesota against the Vikings, who just beat the Green Bay Packers, and we'd be a loss, 2 losses in a row at home. So there'd be a shot the Lions could go 0-3, coming back to Ford Field against the Seattle Seahawks, who did beat the Denver Broncos. Now, I do think the Denver Broncos kind of threw that game away a little bit by not scoring, 3 times they were in the 5-yard line. But it's here nor there. The Seattle Seahawks beat them. The Detroit Lions cannot go 0-3 because I do think the Minnesota Vikings right now would beat Detroit at Minnesota. To go 0-3 would be a disaster. To go 0-2 would be awful. We are favored to win this game against the Washington Commanders for the first time, I think, in 24 games. The Lions are favored to win a game. all the preaching, all the talent acquisition that we did in the draft, picking up DJ Chark in free agency, everything, the momentum that we've had offseason, you got to go into a game that you're favored to win and beat them. You have to. Because at some point, the players, the fan base, I can tell you right now, would be jumping off the bandwagon if we go 0-2. You need to have, the fan base on there, but that's a lesser of evils. Some point, some of the players are going to be, when are we going to win a football game? You can preach all this, but when are we going to win? We haven't won more than 6 games since Jim Caldwell. You go 0-2, we have potential to win to 6 to 7 games, I feel like, looking at the schedule. That would be not good for the Detroit Lions. It'd absolutely not be good. Now it's my opinion. Who do you guys got winning this game? Put it in the comment section, another comment. L for Lions, C Commanders. If you're a Commanders fan, Lions fan, I want to know who you think is going to win this game. That's going to be another comment for this video to spark conversation. Dan Campbell has instilled this physical aspect to the Lions that we got to win. We have to overcome, and we have to win. If you can't defeat a team you're supposed to win, betting odds, what does that say about Dan Campbell? What does it say about Aaron Glenn, who needs to perform better from a defensive standpoint? We're unable to contain Jalen Hurts. We have a defense more standard to the pocket passer. What if we can't stop Carson Wentz and he throws for 300-some yards, a couple touchdowns, and defeats us because our defense is so bad? With question marks resolve around Aaron Glenn, that, man, he may not know what he's doing. Because the defense got to step up. Right now, the defense, I think, is ranked 29 in the NFL after just 1 week. That's not good. It's supposed to take a significant jump. So if that happens again and the Commanders' offense beats us, what does that say? Now, I think the Eagles' team is a very good team. And I think we just ran into a team who I have as a dark horse team in the NFC. What if I'm wrong? And the Commanders come in and do the same thing? That's going to be a problem for the Lions. The Lions' offense did pretty good last week. Now, there was issues with Jared Goff. Obviously, he was off in the first half. But from the 3 phases, yeah, special teams is pretty good, but you got the offense is better than the defense right now. Will the offense get on the same page? Catch those footballs, because we had a lot of drops. Will Jared Goff be better? You have to be. You have to win this game. When I look at the Washington offense, I don't think they're better than the Eagles' offense. Yes, they got a lot of speedy receivers. They got talent there. But overall, the receivers scared me more. Their offensive line scared me more. Their running back, Miles Sanders, and Jalen Hurts scares me more in the running game. Jalen Hurts is a passer. Carson Wentz, he can come up with some issues there, so maybe they're a bit equal there as a passer. Their tight end scares me more. If that's the case, defense needs to step up in a home game and get some turnovers. Carson Wentz is susceptible to getting some interceptions. The defensive line with Aiden Hutchinson, Austin Bryant, Charles Harris, and maybe June Akwar in there need to get some sacks, need to get some pressure to force those turnovers. If we can't do it against the Commanders, what team are we going to do it against? We have to, at home, the second game at home, you have to start winning football games against teams you're favored to win. You have to. And regarding Lions offense, the Commanders defense got a good defensive line, but if you ask their Their content creators, if you ask their beat writers, they believe their linebacking core is not good and their secondary is not good. Well, if the Lions offense can put up points against the Eagles defense, who I do consider better in all phases, got to do it in this game. You got to come out with a victory in this game. I think it'd be a mitigated disaster if we go on 2. I think questions would start to emerge around, Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn. I really think it would start to emerge. Last year, I totally get it. I expect to go 2 to 5 wins. They went 3 wins. It was a freaking bad year because of what Quinn Trisha did. This year's a little bit different, though. You got to win 7, 8 games, in my opinion. Some people got 6. Some people got a little higher. I got 7, 8. And I tell you what, if we lose this game, there's going to be questions as well as on Brad Holmes because of the injured players that you drafted in Levi, who's not there right now. Pascal's already getting some words, but I think Levi's the more, Jameson Williams, I get it. I think he's the future. I'm not too worried about him. But you had an opportunity to pick some better free agents up, and we didn't do that. There'll be some questions emerging around this team. That, yeah, we got hype and they can fight, but you got to win. Ultimately, all the stats and everything is nothing if you don't win the game. The only stat that matters is W's. And we got to pull off a win week 2. We win week 2. It's, to me, that's where this franchise needs to be. It needs to be on that course right there. If we lose week 2, we definitely could lose week 3. And you don't want to start 0-3. You absolutely do not want to start 0-3. Questions would be blowing up for the Lions. It just would be. That would be something that we're not expecting and we wouldn't be ready for, as you should be in this team. But I expect the Lions to win this game. I'm not being a hater. I'm just saying I do believe this is a must-win game. I absolutely do. And I think the Lions need to step up and win that game. With that said, folks, adios.